No, I will say a very, 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 very big thank you for being here. I know your dogs are waiting for you way down there with your good lady wife, I presume.
Oh yeah, there's no problem, like there's no problem with that, like.
Yeah. Well, we should say we're here now because I watched again the Would You Believe documentary from June 5th, 2011 last night, Auntie's Family Secrets, and I found it very, very moving. I found it hard to watch at times. For you and for the many years that you've been campaigning for justice in this situation. Do you have hope that it will kind of get to a good conclusion? Do you believe, because of good exposure like Would You Believe and various newspapers following up the story, would you have hope and optimism?
We'll have optimism that we're going to get we are going to get, in the end, we will get recognised.
Right.
And we will get justice, like we've been to the mother and baby inquiries in Dublin, and we've met a few people there and that, and Bethany now is actually included now in the mother and baby inquiry, like.
Right.
So we're hoping now to get Westbank on included as well, like.
I know that you had 18 years. Was it 1966? I think you
yes,
you first moved there.
1966, yeah.
A very, very pivotal time in anyone's life, those early years of development, and I know that you had a very tough time there. That there was beatings and often kids were very hungry, and also you stated that that there was these mysterious injections if you wet the bed. And what struck me most about the documentary is the two very contrasting ideas about what life was like there. There are those who would say that it was a very, very tough environment to be in and abusive, and others who say, oh, it was a wonderful, wonderful part of my life. How do you think that division happened? Do you think it was a boy-girl thing? It seemed to be predominantly boys that seemed to get the hard kind of treatment from Auntie Mathers. I don't know how you could explain how you feel. Well, how come there's two different versions of this life here when plainly you and others know that you had a hard time?
Well, they say a lot of the boys did get a lot of beatings, and besides, the girls did get beatings, but it wasn't Adeline Mathers, it was another member of staff that actually beat the girls.
Right.
So the girls did get beatings as well, like, it wasn't only the boys, but there was favouritism in the home, like.
A child would never know really what's right and wrong very early on. You don't know if this is okay, this is this is tough love, or whether this is the way it should be or shouldn't be. Was there a point when you realised, when you were down in Westbank, that you thought, okay, this is not right, this is not healthy? I don't know whether it was just outside talking to kids from outside that gave you that perspective, or whether you realised that. Well,
we just thought it was a normal day-to-day thing, like the way that families, because we never got to meet outsiders, like.
Right.
It was like I never got out of Westbank till I was nearly 16 years of age, out to meet people.
Right.
You know.
We should say that obviously within all this hurt that was difficult for you. I mean, there definitely, Mrs. Mathers did a lot of good. She made sure the kids went to good schools, and she was very keen on getting them, an education. And she seemed to be very kind of active in getting them good homes and so forth. But there are definitely dark kind of parts of the history. For you personally, I don't know if you feel like an anger still, whether you've gone past anger, whether you feel now much more that it's something that just needs to be addressed by the trustees and by others, that this is exactly what happened, and they should basically apologise. I don't know, is there still anger there?
There is still anger there, that it went on for so many years, like.
Right.
And that Miss Mathers and people still got away with it, and they're getting away with it today, like.
Yeah.
The abuse that went on. There's no, like, there has to be justice done somewhere, like.
Right.
And the schools, you're saying good education. Well, she got all the places in the schools for free, like.
Right.
That's why all the different children went to different schools around the place, like St Andrew's College, Newtown, New Park.
The emphasis, of course, she was a born-again Christian, and religion was a big part of the upbringing and a big part of her life, obviously. I don't know if that was, again, something that you felt there was a contradiction going on early on, whether when you recognised that, well, if there is a God, he wouldn't really want it this way to be, for children to be treated. I don't know if that religion stayed with you, whether you rejected religion because of your experiences, or...
I rejected the religion. I don't have any religion now.
Right.
From over the years, like. It was only religion was kind of drilled into us every week, like, Well,
the Bible has been used in many different ways to hurt people. It's almost like the original 50 Shades of Grey. I think there's all sorts of weird attitudes go on from that particular book. You had the bizarre experience too of naturally, like any orphan, you were curious as to your real heritage and your real family, and then you had that bizarre kind of turn of events where basically Mrs. Mathers didn't want to let you know who your family were, and it sort of it made it very, very difficult for you, and it turns out for a brother who was also in Westbank. I mean, that must have been kind of shocking when it dawned on you that you were actually, you know, around your brother. You'd been calling to Westbank to find out information about any family, and yet there was your brother in the school without any kind of or had been in the school without any kind of help from Mrs. Mathers. Why would you think she would have held back on helping people find their real identity, their real families?
Well, I think she just wanted to keep us in the orphanage, like.
Right.
She wanted to keep a close group there, like. You know, the more she had, I don't know, was she getting more money for it or what way it was working, but she didn't want, like, she used all Mathers' name, Miss Mathers, in the primary school, in St. Patrick's and Greystones there.
Well, you were Robin Mathers from all your time there, and it took you a while to find out that.
And I was still Robin Begley when I went to New Park.
Right.
It's not till I went to Dublin and actually got my own birth cert that I seen it was Colm Begley was my right name.
Well, quite a few of the I know there's a lady in Scotland. She had a very hard time trying to find out her real family, and you do sort of feel, well, there should be a point where. That's a respect thing. That is someone's life that you're talking about. Somebody's real sense of belonging. You seem like a happy man now. I know you've got your kind of life is you've got a lovely wife, and you've got your dogs, and you seem like a kind of a content. Do you feel that will always though leave a certain amount of trouble? You know, just deep down that this was a huge part of your life, and that childhood that everyone deserves wasn't given to you.
Well, I feel most of the time now, it's always in my subconscious mind there. It's always in the back of my mind, like, every day goes by, I'd be thinking of it, like, you know.
Right.
If things were different with my family, with my brother, I might have had better upbringing, like, I might have get on better in life as well, like, you know.
Well, the life in Greystones itself, did you ever get a chance to sort of be children? Did you ever get a chance to be around Greystones and sort of be left to your own devices, to have the usual things that kids do?
We weren't until I was around 16, like. It was school and home, that was...
Wow. Which is almost like a kind of a cult living. How did that sort of play out for you then, that your kind of slow introduction or maybe late introduction to life outside the home, was that a great big revelation of joy, or were you afraid when you stepped outside?
Well, when I stepped outside, I hadn't got a clue what life was about, like. You know, I went over to England, off to London. Miss Mathers gave me my fare for the boat, and she told me I was going to join the army, and it was actually Salvation Army she put me into over in England.
Oh, right.
And then I was sleeping in muff on the streets there for a good 12 months, like, drinking heavily, and a lot of that to do was probably with my childhood, the way I was brought up, like, and it was.
Was there a turning point then? Do you recognise that you know your life is together now? Was there a turning point? Was it a very slow climb to a good place? I don't know whether there were certain moments that you realised, okay, I can make a good life for myself now.
It took me a year after I left Westbank to see that, like, when I was in London, like, I just said I have to do something. I couldn't keep going the way I was going, like, drinking heavily every day, an alcoholic there for 12 months, and
wow. So I should sort of wrap up by saying that obviously anybody who's aware of the story would want for all of you to feel that justice is done, and that you're recognised for the difficult, you know, very dark childhood that you had that you shouldn't have had. And I do hope that it comes around. At the end, when Mrs. Mathers was in Lockmanstown, she had a massive stroke. I know that a lot of the children sort of reunited to sort of sing her, as they say, off into sleep. Was that something that you felt part of, or I don't know if you were there? That seemed to be.
I was there, but I didn't feel part of it. Like, I was just there, like.
Right.
You know, because, like, she was part of my life 18 years, like, so.
Yeah. I don't know if it's possible in your own kind of mind to would say forgive at this point, or whether that's something that you still have to work on.
It'd be a long time before I'd forgive, like.
Okay.
It'd be a long time before that'll come, like, you know.